Title: The Edge of Silence. Her name wasn't Jasmine Carter anymore. That identity had become a shield, a badge, a quiet whisper of defiance wrapped in the gentleness of discipline. Now, she went by Kyra Morgan, a martial arts instructor, calm, unshakable, and fiercely principled. She taught not just the mechanics of self-defense, but the deeper strength of presence, the ability to stand still when others demanded submission. She had lived in that space for years, between quiet power and dangerous expectations, never imagining that one night in a community center would ignite a storm capable of shaking an entire city. Kyra wasn't a name born from convenience. It was survival, chosen during a time when being visible meant being vulnerable. She had carved out a modest life teaching at Easton Community Center, tucked in the worn-down heart of Briarfield, a city still licking its wounds from years of abuse under power-hungry institutions. The streets looked the same: cracked sidewalks, tired street lamps, and hollow promises painted on government banners. But beneath the surface, unrest smoldered. People remembered what had been done to them. They just hadn't yet figured out how to fight back. Kyra didn't seek out conflict. But when it found her, it was never in the way she anticipated. That night had started as so many others, fluorescent lights humming overhead as she guided a circle of women through footwork drills, her voice calm and assured. Breathe before you move. Know your balance before you strike. The gym echoed with the rhythmic sound of footfalls, pads connecting, and quiet determination. Her students varied: young mothers, college freshmen, office workers with shadows under their eyes. They came seeking strength, and she gave it to them, not in punches but in awareness, in presence. When class ended, Kyra stayed behind, organizing the gear with the quiet satisfaction that came after a session well taught. She dimmed the lights, checked the locks, and shouldered her gym bag, ready for the short walk home. The streets outside were brisk with October's first chill. Her boots clicked softly against the pavement, the scent of dry leaves and cooling asphalt mixing with the distant hum of traffic. She didn't hear the cruiser at first. It wasn't the sirens that gave it away. There were none. Just a flash, a deliberate pulse of red and blue against the corner of her eye. A signal, not an alert. She paused near the edge of Ashton Park, the shortcut she'd taken dozens of times before. Trees lined the path like silent sentinels, the overhead lights casting fractured shadows on the cracked concrete. A voice in her gut whispered that something wasn't right. The park felt, watched. She adjusted her bag and kept walking, posture neutral, stride even. Predators noticed hesitation. When the beam of a flashlight snapped on and bathed her in blinding white, she didn't flinch. She stopped slowly, turning toward the source of the light, Officer Brent Doyle. He was familiar, but not in any personal way. Kyra had seen him patrol these streets before, his stance always just a little too aggressive, his questions a little too pointed. Now, he stood 20 feet away, bat invisible, flashlight fixed on her face. Hands where I can see them, he barked. Kyra lifted her hands slowly, palms open, just high enough. Compliance without submission. What's in the bag? He asked, stepping closer. Training gear, she replied evenly. I teach self-defense at the community center. Doyle circled her, the way a lion sizes up a thread it doesn't understand. Pretty late to be out here. I'm walking home. It's a public park. You mind opening it up for me? The demand lacked any legal pretense. No probable cause, no rationale beyond assumption. But Kyra didn't react. She placed the bag on the ground, unzipped it, and revealed a towel, gloves, 2 dulled wooden practice knives. All legal, all innocuous. Doyle nudged the bag with his boot, unsatisfied. You always walk around with knives? They're for demonstration. My students use them to learn how to disarm. He scoffed, circling again. The light never left her face. You expect me to believe that? You're free to believe whatever you want. That's the truth. He stepped closer. Too close. His breath mingled with hers, sour with the taste of power abused. You don't get to decide when this is over. I do. Kyra's expression didn't change. I've answered your questions. I've shown you everything. You hiding something? He pressed. No. He raised his baton slightly, testing her. She remained still. And that was when everything broke. With a hiss of metal, Doyle extended his baton fully. The sound split the night like a warning shot. The light above them flickered. Her muscles tensed. His posture shifted, not defensive, but offensive. Aggression wrapped in a badge. She didn't attack. She defended. The moment his baton swung down, Kyra's body moved on its own. Pivot. Deflect. Disarm. A lifetime of training compressed into one fluid motion. The baton hit the ground with a clatter. Doyle stumbled, shocked. Kyra dropped into a defensive stance, grounded, centered. Her hands didn't strike back. They simply stayed ready. The silence around them cracked open with tension. Doyle's eyes burned with humiliation. His authority had slipped, and he couldn't accept it. Then he drew his taser. The wires snapped forward. Kyra dodged, smooth and fast. The probes missed. She didn't flinch. He pulled the trigger again. Nothing. The taser clicked uselessly in the cold night air. It should have ended there. But power rarely gives up quietly. A teenager, unseen until that moment, had appeared near the edge of the park. Phone raised. Camera rolling. Witness. Doyle saw it and panicked. He stepped forward, yelling, "Back up. This is police business." The teen didn't move, nor did the new joggers arriving, one by one, drawn by the commotion. Phones rose. The silent crowd began to form. Kyra stood unmoving. Every camera now told the story Doyle could no longer twist. And still, he didn't stop. He charged again, fists raised. Sloppy. Desperate. Kyra sidestepped with calm precision. No retaliation. Only control. Another swing. Another dodge. The crowd grew. Someone shouted, "We're recording." Another voice added, "We saw everything." Still, Doyle advanced. Kyra could have ended it. Could have dropped him easily. But she didn't. She absorbed every blow he never quite landed. She refused to give him the excuse he wanted. And then, sirens. Not his. Back up. Someone had called them. The blue and red lights returned, this time with meaning. Another cruiser pulled up. Officer Marlene Vega stepped out, her hand already on her radio. "What's going on here?" The question wasn't rhetorical. Kyra didn't speak. The crowd did. "Check his body cam." He attacked her. She was defending herself. Vega's eyes darted from Doyle's baton on the ground, to the useless taser wires, to Kyra's steady stance. The pieces didn't line up in the way Doyle wanted them to. He started to speak. "She." "Step away from the woman," Vega interrupted. It was the first time Kyra exhaled fully. The pressure began to break. Within minutes, the story spread, not through news channels, but through phones, social media, whispers, retweets, and footage that couldn't be denied. Kyra's name, the one she had hidden for so long, resurfaced, not as a victim, but as a catalyst. The city woke up. The mayor's office called her the next day, not to offer condolences, but a challenge. The department needed retraining. Public trust had evaporated. They wanted to offer her a seat at the table, to shape what came next. Kyra didn't answer right away. The weight of that night lingered, heavy and raw. But as she stood in the quiet of her gym, watching new students walk through the door, she knew the decision had already been made. Strength wasn't about violence. It was about endurance. About restraint. About refusing to give in when everything pushed you toward surrender. Kyra Morgan had survived the storm. Now she would teach the system how to face one.